Do you wish you could see our live reactions toward each other during our podcasts? If so, make sure you guys are following us on YouTube. We post all of our full podcast episodes on YouTube so you can see our beautiful, smiling faces the whole time. You will also find highlights from some of our epic moments during our Twitch streams, as well as other bonus content we make, including dad joke-offs and more. Be sure to search Funny Business on YouTube and smash that subscribe button.
And welcome to the Funny Business Podcast. Yes, the best podcast with the best topics with the best friends. You got Mike here on the mic. Get it? Haha. And also my best friend, Matt. Matt, how's everything going? Dude, can you believe the weather we are having this week?
The weather, it just puts you in a better mood. It just does. The snow looks ugly, but at least I was able to go outside today in just the t-shirt and jeans. It was awesome, and a mask, of course. But it's phenomenal. You can't beat this weather.
I cannot tell you the last time I walked outside without a coat on, and it was today. So I am so happy that today on the recording day, I had a chance. We walked out a little bit outside, saw some people laying in the grass, which was a little sus to me. But I feel like everybody's just sick of the weather now from moving forward.
Yeah, no, it's definitely time to move on from winter and get into some warmer weather and put on some nice clothes, some better clothes. It's always cool when the weather gets a little warmer, like people start wearing like brighter colors and like stuff like that. It just puts you in a good mood. You can't get mad.
And then of course with me, Matt, you know how I am with all my colored shorts. So definitely the salmon color, the green, the blue.
I got some green with some pineapples on them.
Wait, so you can take my pineapple polo, and you could be pineapple on pineapple.
Genius. That's gonna be in like an article from like the HuffPost, like fire fits of 2021. I'm just gonna be in there.
That, my friends, is called a panty dropper. The outfit that Matt is wearing. So
I don't know about that.
Well, I mean, hey, you never know. Could happen, could not happen. Well, Matt, we're talking about. Spring has sprung, I guess, is the best way to explain it. But one of the things that is approaching, and I feel like we would be wrong if we didn't discuss and take the moment in time of just talking about that we are around the week in which the world absolutely changed for most of us. Yes, we are talking about it is the almost 1 year anniversary of the lockdown from COVID-19. Matt, I will let you start off, obviously, because it was a little unique because you were kind of doing classes, but then also at the same time you were working at the time. I was like trying to figure out what the heck I was doing that day, but I'll leave it up to you. Thinking about what happened just a year ago today.
So a year ago today, I was in Florida.
Yes, you were.
So me and my family went down for a vacation in Clearwater Beach. We went to see some spring training games and just enjoy the Florida weather before what I thought was going to be my second baseball season. So we went to a Yankees-Phillies game on Monday, and then we went to a Blue Jays-Yankees game on Tuesday, and then we're sitting on the beach Thursday, and I'm looking at my phone, and I go, Dad, they just canceled spring training. He's like, what the hell are you talking about? They just canceled spring training. I was like, I don't know, some coronavirus? We had no idea. So then we get back to our condo where we stayed at. We were packing things up for the flight the next day, or 2 days. And we just called one of my aunts and was like, yo, what's going on? She's like, there's this virus. Everyone's getting sick, yada, yada, yada. And we started freaking out, like, were we going to be able to fly home? And then my aunt goes, well, hope you guys have toilet paper when you come home because you can't buy any here. We're like, what the hell do you mean we can't buy toilet paper? Which I never fully understood why there was a toilet paper shortage with coronavirus. Whatever. So
everyone was losing their shit. That's exactly what was happening.
Good point. So we get home and the stores are empty and I never went back to work. It was wild because we were in Florida and I'm going to be honest, we did not know COVID was a thing. We were at restaurants; they were jam packed. No one was wearing. Obviously, no one was wearing masks at the time. But I mean, we were just talking to everybody. We had no idea what was going on until we got home, and we was like, "Oh shit, this is kind of serious."
Yeah, on the flip side, on my end, I was just returning home from Florida, having a little conference down in Disney, we're in Orlando in Disney World, and coming back. And I remember sitting at the conference and everybody was talking about coronavirus, how you can adapt to the communications environment in a coronavirus. And I'm like, we haven't done anything yet. What the heck we doing? And then at that same day, that's when Pennsylvania got its first 2 confirmed cases, was when I was down at the conference. And it kind of, I didn't know what to think about. I think your family,
No one did.
And no one did, absolutely. And Jenna was just coming back from her spring break trip in New York, and we went out to the bar quite literally the last weekend, which would have been this previous weekend, for a year now. And we were seeing, like, if you're going out to bars, you're the problem. If you're doing this, you're the problem. I can't really understand these people who come out immediately and were like, oh, if you do this, you're the problem. No one had any idea. The CDC had absolutely no idea either. They were working the same time we were working, trying to figure half this shit out. Now, here's the thing that I experienced yesterday, and I wanted to wait until the podcast. I've been meaning to tell you, my friend.
Okay.
So these masks,
Yes.
we're about a year in now using masks.
Yes.
On a scale of 1 to asshole, how dumb do you still have to be to not be wearing a mask while at a grocery store?
I think that qualifies in the asshole category.
Was not expecting that. This dude yesterday with his daughter, of all people, the daughter looked like 4 or 5, walking around without a mask. Could have sworn I heard him cough and like snort twice. I'm like, this guy's an idiot. I was this close. I'm never a person of public confrontation, but I was almost to the point where I was like, is that your daughter? You're setting a real good example of what the hell is going on in this world right now. And vaccine or not, medical condition, it's all been debunked. Everyone's been wearing a mask since. Why do you have to be that person to sit there walking around? And this wasn't, I can understand. There was a lady that walked in that grabbed maybe 3 things, but kept her sweatshirt up to cover her nose. I can understand that. That dude was getting a meal for 2 weeks and was loading it in the car, walking around. And I was like, dude, I'm like, you are looking at, there's never a time when you should understand your perception of others, but your perception of others is that you were an idiot that day. And I just hope, I hate to say it, I just hope that there's some type of karma that bites them in the ass of that happening. It's been a year already. Why the hell are we still going through it with people not wearing masks?
There's no need for that. It's really not that big of an inconvenience. Like, just put it on, whether you believe it or not. First of all, they work. Just wear a mask. You don't need to be inconsiderate like that. There's just no need. And even they're saying that again. Don't listen to anything we say.
We're not doctors.
From what I've heard from my aunts that have got the vaccine, people I know, you still aren't. Yeah, after you get your second shot or your first shot, whatever one you get, you still have to wait like 3 weeks for it to actually like fully like work. Like the CDC just came out and said that vaccinated people can visit each other's indoors without a mask. You still have to wait like weeks after you get the vaccine until it all works. So just keep wearing your mask. It's really not a big deal. Today was not really a funny moment, but a haha like JK moment. As recording is the anniversary of when the basketball player Rudy Gobert had a press conference, and he went to leave and he came back and like touched all of the mics and was like, haha, that's funny. Next day later, he got COVID and the NBA shut down. So that's unfortunate, but that was a trip down memory lane.
Yeah. Well, Matt, speaking of just trip down memory lanes and all these things occurring before everything was shut down, I thought we would kind of add a positive spin because I feel like we're getting in the back end of this whole situation. And I will knock on wood for that and cross my heart and hope to die that we won't be on the back end of things. Because remember saying that back in April? We're like, yeah, we'll have it done by Christmas. Nope. Talk to me about some of the things that I don't want to say take for granted, but like some of the things that like you sit back and we're like, damn, like I miss doing this.
All right. Well, before, you mean, okay, I know what you mean.
Just like, let's
see.
say this pandemic's over. What do you
Yes.
think are going to be the key things to you that are like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I missed it this much until now?
So in the past 3 days, I've been like backlogged on podcasts. So I've just been like going through. I was listening to a sports podcast. This got brought up. Remember bar crawling?
Right.
Remember when that was a thing? We just go to like 4 different bars at once. That was cool. Going to a restaurant and just like sitting at a bar. Not like I've been to a restaurant before. Like it's different. But like sitting at a bar, like watching a game with like random strangers. That's pretty cool. Oh, what else have I missed? I don't really. That's a tough question because like I feel like we just haven't done anything else like this for the past like 5 years. It just feels like we've been living in this life for forever. I don't know. What is there anything that sticks out to you?
I know you've been going, but like church is like one of those things that I'm kind of like wishing to kind of be in that groove again of going. Like, yeah, I like tune into a video church service every weekend, but it's one of those things where you can go to a church no matter what church. Like, obviously for me, my church is back in my hometown. So where I'm currently living at is I just go to a church, and it just be nice just to go again and, you know, not go through the whole stipulation like, oh, you got to sign up, you got to RSVP in advance. Like, that's another thing. RSVPs in advance are like a limited amount of seating.
Yeah.
You know, the whole college scene especially. Like, I'm looking forward to when people are coming to visit, people are going to be on campus more, people that are enjoying themselves fully, not limited, fully enjoying themselves. You know, I don't condone this, but like actually going to social activities and enjoying each other during the weekend, because that's where you meet, like, that's how you meet
everyone.
Your best friend. Like,
right.
That's how you meet your best friends, your future wife, your future husband, wherever that may be. And these students are not having that opportunity. And it's tough for the kids coming in. I think we discussed this many podcasts ago. Like, the students coming in, they have nothing to compare to. So they're just sitting there rolling through the motions. Whereas these upperclassmen, like our seniors and juniors, have been through at least 2 years of school the way it should be. So I'm really looking forward to seeing that morale booster go up in respect to that. But just plainly, man, in my role itself, events. I can't wait to see people again.
Going to a sporting event. The next sporting event I go to is just, it's going to be awesome. Remember going to like festivals, like church picnics?
Church picnics.
I would kill to go to my church picnic. Right? I don't know one person at my church picnic, but I would kill for a potato pancake right now. Music Fest. I know you've never been to Music Fest down here. I love Music Fest. One of the best things that's in Lehigh Valley. Can't wait for that to finally be open. Whether they have it this year or not, we'll see. But you know, festivals are just so fun. You know, have a beer, walk around town. You can't beat it.
No. I think additionally, what's funny, when Jenna and I were watching a movie. Oh, we were watching 50 Shades.
Oh, kinky.
No. Funny story. Valentine's Day, we were like, what movie should we watch? And I was looking around. I'm like, there's nothing, stupid rom-coms on Netflix. Like, yeah, it's okay, but like, it's not worth it for me. Like, Jenna's gonna hate me. It's not worth it for me to stay up and watch it and then Jenna to fall asleep during it. So like, I want to try to find a movie that is like interesting, like enough where like I'll stop it because she wants to see the rest of it.
That's fair.
And you know, I was joking. I'm like, why not 50 Shades? And come to find out, Apple Movies had the three movies all for $20. Split $10 each. Boom, 3 50 Shades movies.
It's a steal.
So we watched them all, but again, seeing those scenes where there's people at a bar, people at a place, we're like, damn, they're really portraying like this fake environment at the moment. Whereas like in reality, we could relate to it in theaters because we saw people without masks close together at bars and places, and it just blows my mind. It really blows my mind thinking that perspective.
It really does feel like it's been like ages ago. In reality, it's only been a year. The only thing that I have seen that I don't like, have you seen the TikToks of like the people like, oh, I wish we could go back to the beginning of quarantine? I hate those. Why would you want to go back to the beginning? Why would you not want to go back to before we had to quarantine? The only watching Tiger King was cool. I would have rather done that when I could go to work. That we don't need to go back to the beginning of quarantine. I would like to go back to before coronavirus existed.
I think the only reason why I would go back to those first couple months is the sense of community that was more established. The simple, but like, again, I think we established enough community in those first couple months that like everyone is playing the same game now and is willing to help each other out. But reality being, no, we can lock them up in a special warehouse if they want to go back to quarantining again. We can have them in like pods, like Love is Blind. Like,
yes, absolutely. I think once this is all over, we get like a year grace period to talk about it, and then we just never mention it again. Never.
No.
Don't ever mention it. Don't jinx it. Just don't jinx it.
Well, don't be stupid. I think that's quite literally the reason why is because we were stupid. Like, we were totally unaware. And like, yeah, was it all of our fault? No. But I think, well, again, we're doctors. Having that idea.
We are masters.
We are masters. We haven't seen anything about the flu lately.
Yeah. And the flu was bad last year, too.
And the flu was bad.
Yeah.
So because of those precautions, we haven't been hearing about it as much. We've all been adapting to the world of environment of virtual. And, I've been having discussions, Matt, and I'm sure eventually, when things start to get better for you, like you'll have conversations with me like, okay, so how can we adapt to when we do in-person events again, but at the same time add that hybrid because everybody knows we can do virtual at the same time.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see like how many people will be able to do both, if they can do both. I mean, some people won't have the facilities, big mon to do both, but it's definitely changed the world for good.
Yeah, no, it has changed the world. I mean, I feel like it changed
not for good in a good way, but it's changed it forever.
Well, I mean, I remember we're reflecting on so many episodes, but like I remember church services doing live streams, like the things that people are adapting to now. Like now people know how to work Zoom. Like there should be no excuse whatsoever that you should be sitting there and being like, well, I don't know how to use Zoom. Lady or sir, you've had about a year now to figure this out. There's been at least one time somebody, your friend, your cousin, your mother, your brother, your father, your sister-in-law, your stepsis, whatever that may be, and saying, hey, we got a Zoom call coming up. Want to join? Yes, of course. Like, I don't see the correspondence between you've had a year of doing this. Either you weren't quarantining or you were just totally being a refugee against it.
True. Yeah, unless it's like 20 years from now, you got no excuses.
Because the next best thing is going to come out in 20 years.
Right.
But like we were saying, we wish we bought stonks back in March. Because heck, we probably would have owned a podcast studio by now if we owned shares in Zoom and
be up there with Joe Rogan.
We're just gonna meet halfway back. Every Tuesday we're gonna commute to a halfway point, and that's our podcast studio. So
goals, #goals.
Well, Matt, I hope eventually we can come to a conclusion that we did learn a lot during this past year. We hope to continue to do what is best for everyone. Not that idiot that was at Weiss not wearing a mask with his daughter. And additionally, we never take things granted again as far as being with people and hanging out with everybody. And, hopefully the next time you get an invite and that person says, hey, you want to come to our party? I think some people will start thinking twice about making that decision of being like, I'm too busy. But really, in reality, you're not.
I agree. No, we need nothing. Like you said, just don't take anything for granted again and, be safe. But get back to reality.
Yeah. And I think we can all just take a second just to acknowledge of those who have passed during this past year because of COVID. A lot of family members, a lot of grandparents, some that were way too young to go. So we just hope that those are having the peace of this whole situation and can come out of it in a positive manner.
Absolutely, yeah.
Sorry, I kind of took half of that.
I got nothing else to add.
Yeah, I know. It's something to acknowledge, but yeah. So hopefully we all can sing Kumbaya and hold hands again, and after that, wash our hands because we now know the importance of washing our hands properly.
Absolutely.
Well, Matt, kind of wrap up today on the entertainment topics. We always love Twitter. We care about Twitter. Matt's favorite social media app. Jinx. But sometimes things go a little too far. As this week of the recording, we celebrated, I almost said national, but it's International Women's Day on March 8th. With that, a lot of things were recognized, the importance of women. I saw a really cool video of our state police and how women were introduced and how they have evolved, and they were the, what do you call them? They were the trailblazers of what the state police is today for females. Some people were acknowledging it, some people weren't. But Burger King in the United Kingdom may have just, let's just say, took it way too far.
They messed up.
They messed up, AA.
Yeah.
They big time.
Yeah.
So at Eastern time, again, reported by not even again, but this is reported by USA Today. So this is all in Eastern time. So Burger King, what they do in their brands is they have both an American, but they also have a United Kingdom account. With this United Kingdom account, does very so often come up in our feeds if somehow it gets trending on Twitter and it shows up. People don't realize that there's a Burger King UK. They tweeted out at 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, saying that just plainly, women belong in the kitchen on International Women's Day.
All right, so Mike, let me run you through what happened that morning. So
be my
I wake
guest.
up. I wake up at 8 a.m. Get up, make a cup of coffee. I haven't checked my phone. I sit down at the little dining room table, whatever you want to call it, with my cup of coffee. I hadn't even had a sip of my coffee yet. I open my phone. First thing I do on my phone in the morning, I check Twitter. Open the app, refresh the Twitter. Very first tweet I see is Burger King UK. Women belong in the kitchen. I couldn't even enjoy my morning coffee. I couldn't even enjoy Stephen A. Smith yelling at Max Kellerman, telling him he's an idiot. This is literally the first thing I see all day is women belong in the kitchen. How is that allowed? I don't understand. It doesn't even matter if it's not International Women's Day. That never, ever, ever should be said, or God forbid, tweeted.
I am sorry that you had a bad day.
I'm not even kidding. I closed Twitter, locked my phone, unlocked my phone, opened Twitter. I thought I got hacked. I closed Twitter. I was like, that can't be real. Opened Twitter. I was like, holy shit, it's actually real. How is that even? Whose bright idea was that?
So continuing on, Matt, they actually followed up with a threaded tweet. Is that the proper terminology?
Yes.
Like a threaded tweet?
Thread.
They followed up with, if they want to, of course, yet only 20% of chefs are women. We're on a mission to change the gender ratio in the restaurant industry by empowering female employees with the opportunity to pursue a culinary degree. It then chained again, and it said, and that's what it was. So they released this scholarship program. I thought I had it, but now I don't. But if I recall, they introduced the scholarship program that they're trying to introduce with Burger King. And Matt, I don't know if you checked the replies, but KFC Gaming, not anything with gaming, the little Kentucky Fried Chicken game team, like esports team, posted a picture and was like, there's a time and place to post tweets like this. And then literally it says when, never, never, ever, 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 ever.
So the scholarship is great. That's great. You can pick a better headline. It's really not I don't understand how this is not even just allowed, like what manager or like director thought that was good. How is that brought up in a meeting? That should be the headline.
So I am upset over this tweet, Matt.
Okay.
But what I truly think would happen is a lack of understanding and the lack of qualification for the person in that role, whether if it was a man or woman, as the social media director. Because so you say you love Twitter. I'm starting to like Twitter myself, but marketing Twitter. So what I've been finding with Twitter and the role that I'm in is that you get to find yourself in these little coves or these little groups that tend to like your interests. Matt, if I could just profile you really quick, like you're a total Suns fan. You follow people that are Suns related. You follow people that are sports related. Yankees, Barstool.
My tweet may have been referenced on the Suns podcast. No big deal.
Oh wait, really?
Yeah. So like,
Holy
they didn't mention me specifically, but like the question I asked this guy for the podcast, they like brought it up and discussed it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was pretty sweet.
But what I saw, Matt, from one marketer on Twitter was that it was actually a flyer campaign that had "Women Belong in the Kitchen" in nice big bold font, but then following that was the whole entire explanation that came about. To me, as harsh as that sentence is, that women belong in the kitchen, that flyer is more appropriate than this clickbait of a tweet that Burger King UK did. Now, the difference and the reason between why I'm discussing that is because if that marketer knew, that director of marketing knew how to take content from a flyer and turn it into a social media post, this would have never happened.
I agree with that. I don't think that I don't think that should ever be used. Well, there's got to be some again, scholarship's great, but there's got to be, you got to understand that people are going to take it the wrong way.
Mm-hmm. And it's the internet. Everybody takes, I'm not defending them, but really if I was in that situation and my boss was like, "Hey, we need to post this about our scholarship program," the phrase "women belong in the kitchen," I can stay, but don't make a threaded tweet adding that to it. Like, women belong in the kitchen. The threaded tweet was bad. Threaded tweet was very mishandled. It's like, women belong in the kitchen. 20% of chefs, only 20% of chefs are women. That's why we're introducing a scholarship program. Then continue with the threaded tweet. Now, this happened at 1 a.m. People are already pissed. At 4:34 p.m., so hours after the situation has occurred, they tweeted, "We hear you. We got our initial tweet wrong and we're sorry. Our aim was to draw attention to the fact that only 20% of professional chefs in UK kitchens are women, and to help change that by awarding culinary scholarships. We will do better next time." Then again, they tweeted, and about an hour 15 later, at 5:41 Eastern Time, "We decided to delete the original tweet after our apology. It was brought to our attention that there were abusive comments in the thread, and we don't want to leave a space open for that." There was offensive comments because you instigated it.
The deleting the tweet was just the stupidest. I never understand, like, when someone regular on Twitter deletes a tweet, that's fine. I deleted a tweet before. Maybe it was something I tweeted that I had a little too much alcohol. That's fine. When verified people delete a tweet, it is the stupidest thing on the face. When you're verified, you probably have at least 100,000 followers. Well, as soon as you tweet that, that's probably getting screenshotted. Yeah, 95%. Verified people deleting tweets. It's not like that no one's gonna know you tweeted it. You're verified. You have a big say. And also, what a Burger King thing. Everyone's gonna be like, "Yeah, they deleted a tweet. Good for you guys." That's not gonna help anything. Like, oh my gosh. Ahead.
Your head. Yeah, it's a little. It's disappointing. Let's put it that way. You could have revolved around it better with the scholarship program, but you wanted to make it meme full, if that's even a word.
I think you said it good. It's clickbait.
Clickbait.
They wanted some likes, wanted some retweets. Which, hey, everyone wants likes and retweets. Probably just maybe not be offensive to women on International Women's Day. Probably not going to get you very far.
Because you have those assholes who believe in that statement.
Yep.
That were liking, retweeting, and replying to it.
The Twitter trolls.
The Twitter trolls of the earth. We all know who they are. The bots that will. Have you ever seen that happen on?
Oh, it's incredible. Crazy. It's incredible when like sports teams, like especially the Washington football team, when they went through the whole rebranding, some guy screenshotted like 40 people tweeting, Dan Snyder is a great job. He's doing great as the owner of the Washington football team. It's like, well, it seems fake.
No one's gonna know. Nobody's gonna know.
They're gonna know.
They're gonna know. Little TikTok reference. But yeah, I discourage this whole thing from happening, and I really hope they learn their lesson. And I really hope that they either A, invest in more of a team for social media and understanding the ethics and shall you say, I don't want to say brand, but just kindness. I hate to be that person, but just understanding the ethics and almost a PR team. Like literally a PR team being like, hold up, wait a minute. Like, don't post that. Like, because this shit is going to happen. Or a boss needs to be a better understanding of, okay, we have this scholarship program, go ahead, run with it. And then it's divided up into that. I think high topics like that, like Black History Month, for example, no one should be the expert towards Black History Month. Like, unless you are an HBCU, which I'm sure we'll talk about in the All-Star game, no one should take on something like that because you're not the expert. No one's an expert. And I think all of us spent that time too when the whole thing with George Floyd happened, trying to become experts in understanding, which really embarrassed and almost offended a lot of people because we tried. Whereas, why don't we just be? Why don't we just do it? Like, really. Sorry, I didn't mean to get on my soapbox, but any other final comments?
Just if you're going to tweet something, just think, is this offensive? Is this single tweet offensive? If it is, just don't tweet it.
No. And doing that, think before you tweet, think before you speak.
Yeah.
Could save you a lot of spelling errors, grammar mistakes, and offensive tweets.
Facts.
And that's the tea, my friend. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, Matt's got a sports topics. Let's say you start a podcast or you're running your own side hustle and have a bunch of links that you want your audience to know about. As a podcast, Matt and I have all of our social media, all of our podcast links, and other important things. Make it easier for your followers to find your important links, social media, and latest content by having it all in one page with Solo.to. I'll be honest, I have used similar websites like this, but nothing compares to Solo.to. All of your links are clean and easy to navigate. Have an upcoming video? It's really easy to make those changes. Plus, Solo.to has opportunities to upgrade to include more customization, advanced analytics, and so much more. Solo.to is giving us a special opportunity for you to get 10% off if you create an account and upgrade. Be sure to go to solo.to/funnybusiness to create your account today. Solo.to, it's the way to go. Do you think, Matt, people are tired of hearing our Anchor ad?
Yeah, probably. But let's be honest, if it wasn't for Anchor, we would not be doing a podcast.
You're right, Matt. Once again, we have to thank Anchor for helping us continue to make each episode. Y'all know how it works. Anchor is free. It's easy to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer, and distributes your podcast to platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and more.
And you all know that you can make money too, even with the first couple episodes that you start with.
So why haven't you started your own podcast yet? Anchor is everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app today or go to anchor.fm to get started. That's anchor.fm.
So, Mike, When do you think we'll stop talking about Anchor?
Oh man, Matt. You know what? To be completely honest, I think we'll be talking about this for a long time.
Okay, let's slide into the sports segments for today. We are going to start with a quick NBA All-Star recap. Let's just start from the beginning with the skills competition that does not require any skill. Mike, were you able? I know we were texting throughout All-Star. Did you get to catch any of the skills competition?
I caught the final round.
What are your thoughts on it?
I think it needs to change. I think that just So for those who don't know, what they do is it's player versus player. It's 1v1. What they do is they go through like is it called a slalom? What's the?
I don't know. It's got they just got obstacles.
Slalom.
It does not ring a bell.
They go like through
an obstacle
like
course.
An obstacle course. They pass the ball. They make a shot. They go over and make a 3-pointer. Something's got to change.
I could do that. Literally, we could compete and we could win the NBA Skills Challenge. There's just no skill involved. It's dribbling. You make one pass. Before they used to do a bounce pass and a chest pass. I don't know what happened to that. I do like that they added big guys to it because like a big guy's won like 4 of the past 6 times. I have a suggestion for the skills competition. You make it like teammates. Add a defender.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Can you imagine like Luka trying to do this on like Draymond, and then like Steph Curry's trying to do it on like I'm trying to think guy in the Mavericks, Josh Richardson. Like that'd be cool. Add a defender. But yeah, it's fun. It's just got to change. 3-point contest carried the night. Carried. Yeah. Steph Curry's just playing a different sport than everyone else.
Word of advice: don't have the 3-point competition and the All-Star game on the same night. That just warms up Steph Curry for the night, you know?
Warms him up. My only suggestion for this is, you know, the Mountain Dew. So for those that don't know, so they have 5 racks placed, 2 on the corners, 2 on the wings, 1 at the top of the key. You get 5 balls in each. The last ball in 4 of the racks is a money ball with 2 points, and then they get 1 rack that is all money balls. And then they had
1 point for regular basket, 2 points for money ball.
Correct. Yeah. And then they had the Mountain Dew zone, which was like a 30-foot shot. That's worth like 3 points, I think it was. Here's what they got to do. You add some time. You get 5 racks, but put 3 balls at half court. 5 points each.
Yeah, I was more thinking about like a 4-point play, like with the Globetrotters, like adding that more back. Like, I'll be honest, the court looks small. Did you think the court looked kind of small in the All-Star game?
It may have just been the design of it, but yeah, it did look a little small.
They need to back that up and back up tear. Like they need to back because Curry made that thing look freaking easy. Like,
I mean, and then you had Lillard and Steph Curry just pulling up from half court during the game. So I think they can hit it. Dunk contest is dead. It's dead. It was so bad. No, they just need the one. They need to actually get players that people know to dunk. 2, they need to get rid of the scoring system. The best dunk of the night was Cassius Stanley's first dunk, and he got a 44. It was an incredible dunk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm never a fan of the judging. I really. If they could do, I mean, I know it would take a little bit of more coordination, but if they could possibly work with Twitter or some type of polling place, not polling place, online polling, let the fans decide. Like have some type of, because we all know with the All-Star game, there's some type of, correct me if I'm wrong, there's some type of percentage that the fans vote on, and then there's this committee that selects the All-Star team. Yeah. So why not apply that to the dunk contest?
I love it, because everyone agreed that Stanley should have won, and he didn't even make the final round. The dunks were just bad, too. Like, they just weren't good. Also, why do we only have 3 events? Remember that team event? They used to have a current player, a WNBA player, and an old-time player? That was fantastic. Bring that back. Mike, who wouldn't watch a 10-person knockout game? Who wouldn't watch that?
That was amazing.
With honorary J.R. Smith participating every single year. That would be fantastic. It would be fantastic. A knockout is the simplest game. You put an NBA player, it'd be phenomenal. It would be phenomenal. I had a horse, maybe. Like, add
horse,
like
yeah.
3 guys for horse. That'd be cool. Around the world.
Yep.
That'd be fun. Just add all this stuff. And then the game itself, jerseys were bad. Ugly.
My eyes were hurting with Team LeBron with the yellow and the off-color yellow with the basketball court. I was
not
like,
good.
Oh.
Kevin Durant is an awful GM. I like the ending of how they add 24 points on the end, and it's like first to get to that. I like that.
That was second year they've done that.
Yeah, last year was incredible, but it ended on a free throw.
Yeah,
and this year Dame just pulled up from half court and was like, "See ya."
I enjoyed it a little bit. It was good. It literally looked like a game of pickup, which that's how every All-Star game is. I just think that Team LeBron was having too much fun, and just they won 3 out of the 4 quarters. Is that correct?
They won all 4.
They won all 4.
Yeah.
And then they won the game. So, God, that scholarship that they were playing for,
I know.
Not playing for, but donating towards. Yikes.
Yeah, those poor kids for Kevin Durant. Which we should say, it was awesome how they incorporated HBCUs. They did a great job. I didn't know Atlanta was like the top region for HBCUs, because I was kind of wondering why they had it in Atlanta. So that made sense.
I will have to give props to the production team on top of the bands that were performing from HBCUs, historically black college and universities, if anyone was wondering. But what really caught my eye was Michael B. Jordan and Vice President Kamala Harris's interview, how they stitched the two together in 2 completely separate places. I'm like, say what? How did you do that? And I was, because we're doing a current project right now for work, and it's a Zoom call. They literally made it look like they were in the same freaking room.
That was so awesome.
It's so great.
I just hate the people that are like, oh, how do you guys watch this? There's no defense. It's an all-star game. They're not going to try 100%. And it's the best all-star game there is of any sport.
Yeah, we could literally, Team Durant could take on the Olympics and beat every team. That's the worst part. We have the greatest set of talent in the entire world. And people think, how could you watch this? Well, you should try watching other countries play this game of basketball, because they're not as good as how we are.
That's I talked about Steph Curry playing a different sport. Americans play a completely different sport of basketball than everyone else. And Mike, it was different this year because the All-Star game was in March. Usually it is in February. And as we all know, we are in March, and March Madness is quickly approaching. We have a lot of sporting events coming up. And it got me wondering, Mike, the best month of the year for sports. Which is a tough question, because some people have personal preferences. You don't have to look anything up.
No, I have to, because I need to tell you. I need to know.
Okay, so I have all 12 months listed, and I have major sporting events for all 12 months, and we're just going to rate them.
Okay.
So, do you want to? Let's just start with January.
Yes.
And then I obviously at the end will give what we think is the best month. So January, we have the college football playoffs and bowl games. Great time. NFL playoffs. And then not much else. I mean, college basketball is not getting started. Conference play starts. NBA, NHL just started. And the Royal Rumble is usually in January, I believe.
Royal Rumble.
February, we have the Super Bowl.
Yeah, you can't really miss that.
No. End of the college basketball season. Spring training starts. Pretty good month, I would say. What I believe is the best sporting month of the year is March, and that is pretty much solely because of March Madness. It's just the greatest tournament ever. And then spring training, golf season's picking up. NBA season, people actually start paying attention to it more. Have I missed anything in any of these months so far that you can think of?
No.
Okay. April, NBA and NHL playoffs. And NHL playoffs, I will just say, are the best playoffs by far. MLB season begins. You got the NFL draft, the Masters, Final Four, and WrestleMania.
WrestleMania, baby.
Can't forget about WrestleMania. May, MLB season, NHL playoffs, NBA playoffs, Kentucky Derby. Who doesn't love the Kentucky Derby?
The hats.
The hats are fantastic. The Champions League final for soccer. The French Open in tennis. Then we move into June. We have the NBA finals and the Stanley Cup. NBA draft. US Open in golf. July, MLB All-Star Game, which is kind of exciting. Wimbledon. People forget about Wimbledon. COVID related, or COVID given, we have the Olympics this July.
Yep.
And we usually have the World Cup. And then next couple months, August, NFL preseason, soccer kind of gets started in Europe. Little League World Series. Who doesn't love the Little League World Series? September, NFL begins, MLB ends, college football begins, October, World Series, every other sport's kind of going on. November, who doesn't love Thanksgiving football? Best day of the year to watch football. College basketball begins, and then December is kind of, I think December's the worst. You know, we got bowl game season starts for college football, and then NFL rounding up. Christmas Day basketball is always fun.
It's always good. Always
the best. Mike, what's your opinion? Best sporting month of the year?
I will have to say there is one month that I was trying to look up where I believe, if I'm correct, the NHL is playing, the NBA is playing, the MLB is playing, and on a regular given basis, and the NFL?
Mm-hmm.
What month is that?
I believe it is like October, November.
I would have to go with either or, those 2 months. Yeah. Just because, like, when does it else happen that there's such a crossover of so many sports being played? And then I'm sure there's probably a situation, depending on the season, of course, where there may be one city that's like, well, wait a minute, like, we might have to figure something else out because, like, I'll take basketball versus hockey. They all play in the same arena. Like, what do you do with that? Like, and it's cool. It's cool to have sports. I sound like I'm somebody who doesn't understand sports, but just sports.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. It is one of the best times of the year. As we are in March, Mike, last week we talked about UNC coach Roy Williams. Got a little irate with a reporter, and yet again we have another cranky college basketball coach, this time at Syracuse, Jim Boeheim. So, Mike, there is a student reporter, not a student reporter, he was a student reporter at Syracuse, now works for The Athletic. He wrote an article saying that if Syracuse played some of their guys on the bench more, that they would have a better record now. The quote was somewhere around 17-5 overall, and right now they're 9-7. And Jim Boeheim did not take this too well. Here's the quote from Jim Boeheim. It's hard to go 9-7 in this league. I think it's a difficult league, very difficult, and I think these guys have done a great job this year. But if I'd played Jesse and Kadari, the two players that the reporter referenced, we'd probably be 22-2 by now. He went on to say, I just didn't see that. Couldn't figure it out myself after 45 years. I needed a reporter to figure that out, who has never played college basketball and is 5'2".
Oh,
yeah, he put him in a body bag. He's also not 5'2", by the way. So I think it's easy to it is easy to make fun of the coach because he's just very cranky and old. But it does make for a good soundbite. I don't know if you have an opinion.
Yeah, the reporters. See, that turns into an opinion report. That turns into an opinion rather than a reporting piece.
So he is a beat writer for The Athletic. So he didn't actually ask him a question. Boeheim just kind of like referenced him in a press conference.
Yeah. Eek. That's all I'm going to say, eek.
Hysterical quote.
Oh, yeah. Put him in a body bag, like you said.
Absolutely. It's always funny, like there's old college basketball coaches that they make a quote like this and everybody like flares up. But it's funny. Like, funny. They're wrong, but it's funny. Do you remember Jim Calhoun? He was the UConn head coach, basketball.
Well, yeah, I know. Yeah, Jim Calhoun.
Okay,
yeah.
yes. Some of his quotes were hysterical. I was looking one up the other day. He was asked about a college player or a high school player from UConn or from Connecticut. And he was asked why he didn't recruit him like 50 times in the season. Reporters kept asking him, why didn't you recruit this kid? Why didn't you recruit this kid? So the one time a reporter asked him after a game and he just went off, just started going off on this kid. And it was like, listen, when I went to look at him, he was 6'2", 270 pounds. And he just started roasting his own players at one point. He just goes, I picked Emeka Okafor and Karan Butler. They're not bad. It's just an all time. I highly recommend looking up Jim Calhoun quotes, which leads us into college basketball season. And we do have to finish the game we started from last week. For those that don't remember, it is, does he play college basketball? How this works, I have a name from someone who either plays college basketball or is in sports somehow. And Mike has to guess if he plays college basketball or not. So Mike, let's get into it. Ryan Arcidiacono. Does he play college? Ryan Arcidiacono. Arcidiacono. Does he play college basketball?
No.
Correct.
Yes.
However, he plays for the Chicago Bulls.
Oh.
He used to play for Villanova. So I almost tricked you at that one.
Uh-huh.
So number 2, great name. Keon Ambrose Hilton. Does he play college basketball?
Yes.
That is correct. Plays for the University of Alabama, who is probably going to win the SEC this year.
Bama.
Number 3, Cameron Champ. Does he play college basketball?
See, that sounds too simple to me. No.
Correct. He does not play college basketball. He is a PGA Tour golfer. This next name, Flo Thamba.
Oh my, that's amazing.
Does Flo Thamba play college basketball?
Yes.
Correct.
Oh, baby, I am on fire.
Plays for Baylor. Maybe the best team in the nation, potentially. Next name, Denzel Mahoney. Does Denzel Mahoney play college basketball?
No.
Incorrect. He does. Plays for Creighton. Creighton was in the news. Their coach got suspended last week for using a racially insensitive quote to his team, and then was just reinstated like 4 days later. So I don't really think that's not a really suspension. He just kind of got some time off to golf, maybe. I don't know. Next name, Wander Franco. Wander Franco. Does he play college basketball?
No.
Correct.
Yes.
He is the number 1 prospect in Major League Baseball.
Oh.
Next name.
Wait, what was his last name?
Wander Franco.
Franco goes Yanko. I'm just thinking of what.
Awful. Awful. Please never say that sentence again.
I'm off the top of my head, man. Come on.
It was a good try. Not really. Next name, Linus Ullmark. Does Linus Ullmark play college basketball?
Yes.
Incorrect.
Ooh.
He is in the NHL. He plays for the Buffalo Sabres.
I didn't know. Wait, Buffalo Sabres, like that's a farm team, right?
No, it's an NHL team. Like an actual NHL team.
When did they come into play?
Forever.
Oh my god, I've never heard of that team before.
Sometimes I used to do like quizzes, like on Sporkle. That was a website. Sometimes I would do NHL teams. I'd always forget like 1 or 2.
Yeah, that's wow. Okay, you learn something new every day.
Yes, you do. That is fact. I have 3 more. Paxson Wojcik. Does he play college basketball? He does.
Yep.
Plays for Loyola Chicago, who is in the tournaments, which means Sister Jean's back, baby. You can't not love Sister Jean.
You can't love any. You can't. There's no way you can't not love any Sister Jean that comes through your way.
If you meet someone named Sister Jean, she is a great lady.
She's amazing. She's an angel. Literally, we're just putting it that way.
Yes, literally an angel. Ferran Flavors Jr.
Oh my god, Matt! I cannot
Yes.
believe these are real people's names.
Ferran Flavors Jr. Does he play college basketball?
Flavor goes to Flavortown. Yes.
Correct.
Oh yeah.
He plays for Oklahoma State. Now, Oklahoma State's interesting because they have the potential number 1 pick in their upcoming draft. However, they are appealing a decision by the NCAA that would make them eligible for the tournament. So, the appeal process is still going on, so they are eligible. However, the NCAA at any point in the next 4 days can rule them ineligible for the tournament, then they wouldn't be able to play.
Yikes.
I don't think they would do that, but we'll see. Mike, last name, Chavez Goodwin. Does he play college basketball?
No.
Incorrect, he does. Plays for USC. It's great names. Just all around.
I did great.
You did do good. You did very well. I'm very proud of you.
Thanks, Matt.
So brackets get announced this Sunday, so we might have a little preview next week. That concludes all the sports topics we have for you guys today. It is time for Take It. So, Mike, any guesses on what mine is today?
Back where it all started. Let's talk about Suns Out, Guns Out, and Buns Out. No.
Close.
Close. Okay.
So we talked about the weather changing earlier to start the show.
Okay.
So it got me thinking, Mike.
Uh-huh.
What is the best season?
Knew that was coming. Did I go first? Did you go first last time?
I think you went first.
Well, go ahead.
So I will go first. It is by far spring. Spring is by far the best season.
I'm going to have to defer that, disavow.
No, you can't disavow that.
I'm going to go with fall.
Fall is so overrated.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
It's overrated on the pumpkin spice bullshit, but really fall is a great season.
Why? You're going from warm weather to cold weather. Who wants to do that?
It's better than going from cold weather to warm weather because
False.
No.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you go ahead. What's worse, Matt? Spring training when they all go down to Florida? Don't you remember when you played baseball?
Yeah.
How many times did you either have to play inside the gym or had to go somewhere out in the parking lot because the grass on the field wasn't ready because of the frickin' snow?
What do we I don't understand what you're talking about.
Spring is right in between winter, and so when that season comes in, you're still having a challenging time trying to figure out if you could play baseball or not, dependent upon the weather. Because
But guess what? You get to play baseball, so that's awesome.
Right. Football, soccer, you literally go from being super hot on hot fall nights,
Which
but
is a
then
great
there's
day.
times. Wait, what?
Why would you want to go from hot to cold?
Because it at least prepares you for that. Whereas like spring, you're like getting to the point like, yeah, I'm in a tank top right now, but I know next week there might be snow. So you're kind of being taken away for it. Whereas fall, it kind of eases you into the cold weather. And to be the fact of that matter, fall is not as cold as it is in the wintertime.
Oh, breaking news. Fall is not as cold as the winter.
Shut
Didn't know that
up.
one. Wow. So you would seriously, you're okay with fall knowing fall is basically the beginning of seasonal depression.
Yeah, if you put yourself in that.
Okay. But why would you? Fall is basically saying warm weather's older. Here comes the cold. Spring is, hey, you know all those cold months we had? Well, guess what? Here comes the warm weather.
But then
who
it's
would
going
want
to
to
come back. Then it's going to come back. And like next week, it's like, well, shit, now we're going to do cold again because here's some more for you. We're not ready for that full entire spring mode yet.
But at least we're getting rid of the cold.
Yeah,
We're saying here comes the warm weather.
I would rather go downhill than try to go uphill.
That's so stupid.
No, it's not.
You know what the worst day of the year is?
What?
It's a fall day when you have to put a jacket on for the first time. You know what the best day of the year is? Today. Today was the best day of the year because I got to go outside without a jacket on.
But you know what the worst part is? Next week, it's probably going to be cold again.
I don't care.
To bring a North Face.
I don't care. We've had
How do you not care?
Because we've had 4 months of cold weather, wearing a jacket, wearing a hat, wearing gloves. I threw my back out like 15 times shoveling snow today. Today was the best day of the year because it's warm weather. You know what? Tomorrow's going to be 62. I might go hit a bucket of golf balls. I'm so excited for spring because it's the best time of the year. It's being warm is infinitely better than being cold.
I'm happy you feel that way, Matt.
I don't understand why people love fall. Like, I love being cold and I love putting a jacket on. Like, that's what? That's stupid.
Matt, when you get a girlfriend, whenever that happens,
just uncalled for.
You're gonna have to do all that fall stuff. That spring. What the heck to do? What the heck to do with the spring stuff? What the heck to do with the spring stuff with a girl?
You're gonna walk
because you can
enjoy the fresh air. Yeah, but you gotta put a jacket on. You gotta freeze your ass off.
A vest.
Oh, guess what, honey? We're gonna go for a walk. Sorry, you're gonna get frostbite and die.
A vest, dude. Homecoming by far amazing. You know that? It's in the fall.
You know what would be better? Homecoming in April.
No, it wouldn't. I'd be sweating. I'd be sweating my ass off.
Who sweats in April?
The guy who's running around with the freaking camera.
That's a personal problem.
Oh, that's...
I'd rather day drink in April than day drink in October.
At least it would keep you warm. The beer.
Yeah, but I wouldn't... who doesn't love day drinking in a tank top? Do you imagine...
You know my bucket hat. Yeah, okay, that's great. But hey, fall, homecoming, cornhole, that just...
so you can't play cornhole in the spring?
Same, you can't day drink in the fall either, huh?
I'm not saying you can't. I'm saying it's better to do it in the spring. Okay. All
right.
Can you have a dirty? Can you have a dirty in the fall?
You could.
Good. Okay, but is that better than that first dirty of the year when you're wearing a tank top? What's better? Tell me what's better. Tell me.
Wow.
Look me in the eyes.
Oh my
Look me
God,
in the eyes.
Matt.
Would you rather have a dirty in a sweatshirt or a dirty in a tank top?
I would rather see colors on the tree than still trying to figure out where the sun is and getting sunburnt because that's a possibility when that sun comes out. You just told
me I was right because you didn't look me in the eye. So boom. I just won that argument.
It's a podcast. They can't see, Matt. Unless they're watching the YouTube channel.
Exactly. I've never understood fall people. I don't get it.
I'm not that basic white girl that enjoys her pumpkin
Apparently
spice
you
lattes.
are.
I am not, Matt.
By the way, Dunkin's cold foam is phenomenal.
I have yet to try it.
It is so good, dude.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Could you imagine the pumpkin spice foam?
No.
No.
I don't like pumpkin spice.
Yeah, I don't either.
The only pumpkin thing I enjoy is pumpkin seeds. Like roasted pumpkin seeds. Pretty good.
Interesting. Wow. Awkward silence.
Yeah. I there is one thing on the podcast we didn't mention. Can I just briefly bring it up?
If it's something that's going to be contentious, I am going to deny it.
No. So there was a viral video. Like, there was a fight on the internet. Did you see where this fight occurred at? It was at a mall.
No.
So there's a big time fight between this group of people at Bath and Body Works.
Yes, I saw. I was like, oh my God.
I don't think I have not seen a statement from Bath and Body Works. I'm very concerned that they don't really care about their customers. I would just like to, bring some awareness to that.
Well, Matt, like the body wash, I'm sure they're trying to be a clean slate.
Could you imagine actually getting in a fight at Bath and Body Works?
I wonder why. Like,
that's
why
gotta
would
suck.
you?
I don't know, but there's like 7 people involved. Well, now, I saw this article. What are the best stores not to get in a fight in, but to like watch a fight in?
Ooh, that's
First one's obvious.
Walmart.
Walmart's number 1 by far. I would say this is low key one, Tractor Supply Company.
Tractor Supply.
Feel like that'd be pretty cool.
Home Cheapo.
Oh, I disagree.
Why?
I
What,
think people
Lowe's?
are. Yeah, I'd think Lowe's than Home Depot. People at Home Depot are happy.
Home Cheapo.
Popeyes. Just because I've seen like 15,000 fights from Popeyes, especially when they introduced their chicken sandwich.
Yeah.
And I feel like Dick's Sporting Goods. I don't know why. I just feel like you could get that. It'd be a cool store to watch a fight in.
Gander Mountain, is that still a thing, or are they out of business?
I don't know what that is.
Okay.
What is that?
It's an off store. It's like an outdoor sports store. Like that used to be like with the boots and whatnot. Yeah, boots. That's all they sold was boots. Wow. So next time we run a podcast on Take It, we're going to take it to Walmart. We're just going to hold microphones and we're just going to start arguing with each
interviewing people at Walmart.
What do you think?
I just can't imagine. Yes. I just can't imagine getting in a fight at Bath and Body Works. Well, I could, except it'd be with the employees. But actually, no, it'd be with the candles.
The candles. Oh my goodness. Well, if you have something contentious or something that we'll all disagree to or agree to, you never know. Be sure to leave it in the comments of the YouTube comments down below. If you're on Apple Podcasts, make sure you rate us 5 stars, leave a review that helps other people listen to our podcast, find and discover us. Big shout out to solo.to. It is the way to go. You can find all of our social media links at solo.to/funnybusiness. You can find our social media. You can find our Twitch. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can create a free account and get 5% off on your order, again, as you heard in the ad. Matt, what else?
Oh, man. Big stream coming up the next couple weeks. We are doing some Rocket League tournaments.
Yes.
And if you're listening, I'm just making sure I have my math right. If you're listening to this on Tuesday, if you do watch our streams or play Fortnite, there is a new Fortnite season. So we will be streaming that.
Yes, sir. I forgot about that. Oh, my goodness.
It is Tuesday.
Matt,
yes.
Matt now everyone can see Matt's face now when he streams. I don't think you mentioned that yet.
I do have a camera now for my PlayStation. So you can see my lovely face as I yell at Rocket League and Fortnite.
Gorgeous face, my friend.
Yes. Well, my mom says so.
Oh. Matt said something really upsetting the one night. Well, not upsetting, but really insulting to one of the kids that was beating us in Rocket League about living in the mom's basement.
Yeah, I don't live in my mom's basement. I have my own house. I have my own room in my mom's house. Loser.
And with that, guys, we'll see you all in the next episode.
Stay safe, everyone.